Good Monday. Welcome in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton here on this Monday Mirror edition as we take a look back at the weekend in sports. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot to get to today, but Mo, how are things?
It's Monday.
Are you good now?
I'm good enough.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take good enough for right now. We'll fix it later.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are having a great Monday, and if not, we hope that this show will brighten your day, because we have a couple interesting topics to get into, mainly college football, the National Football League, but we've also got the Braves and some big news in the world of baseball right here from Hit City. So plenty to get to. Make sure you guys stick around. We've got so much we need to hop right in. So let's go ahead and give you the weekend's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy, prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Football action from the weekend. Baylor downs Brentwood Academy 31-24. Battleground Academy shuts out Hunters Lane 51-0. It was Blackman 24, Siegel 21. Big win for the Blaze there. Briarcrest Christian downs Father Ryan 28-21, and Centennial was a 17-14 winner over Nolensville. Clarksville 38, Dixon County 10. Henry County a 52-14 winner over Northeast. Northwest falls to West Creek 34-8. It was Riverdale 49, Coffee County nothing. Collinwood 40-7 winners over Clarksville Academy. Columbia Academy downs Ezel Harding 55-28. It was Christ Presbyterian 41, Good Pasture 14. Davidson Academy 36, Pope Prep 15. Smith County a 14-7 winner over East Robertson. A fantastic ball game. Memphis University School 19-14 winners over Ensworth. Creekwood falls to Fairview 24-7. And Franklin Road Academy gets a 42-21 win over East Nashville. Giles County downs Lincoln County 45-18. Page a 42-6 winner over Glencliff. Nashville Christian edges Grace Franklin 39-36. And White House triples up Greenbrier 30-10. Gallatin, big 24-10 win over the Hawks of Green Hill. It was Beach 34, Hendersonville 14. Loretto downs Hickman County 37-14. And Hillsborough was a 35-0 winner over Lawson. Richland edges Huntland 18-14. Ravenwood kicks a field goal to win it. at the end of the game to beat Independence 16-14. Cheatham County 2013 winners over Joe Burns. Brentwood shuts out John Overton 38-0.
Rossview shuts out Kirkwood 31-0. It was fun while it lasted for the Cobras. Cane Ridge with a 3-0 victory over Laverne, the first win of the year for the Ravens. Lebanon 37, Watertown nothing. First meeting since 1964 between those two. Lewis County, behind 304 yards from sophomore Micah Godfrey, defeats Mount Pleasant 43-14, handing the Tigers their first loss of the year. Coverage at Main Street Murray on that one. Liberty Creek 42, Westmoreland 14. Haywood 42, Maplewood nothing. McCauley with a 35-0 win over Montgomery Bell Academy. Also Smyrna blanket McGavick 34-0. The Bulldogs' first win of the year. Middle Tennessee Christian. Somebody on our panel called this one, and it wasn't me. With a 16-14 win over the Commanders of Friendship Christian. Donaldson Christian Academy 54, Mount Juliet Christian nothing. Springfield blanks Portland 35-0. It was Stratford 53, Republic 14. Oakland with a 35-0 win over Rockvale. Lawrence County defeats Spring Hill 35-12. Coverage of that one on MainStreetMurray.com, courtesy of Mr. Yao. Procombe with a 55-0 win over Station Camp. Antioch 34, Stewart's Creek 27. Look out for the Bears. Harpeth with a 33-25 comeback victory at Summertown. Summit defeats Franklin 13-7. White House Heritage 20, Sycamore 14. It was Providence Christian 20, the Kings Academy 15. Tullahoma with a 34-14 win over Columbia Central. Wayne County defeated Eagleville 30-22. Whites Creek on the new turf defeated Montgomery Central 24-22, and Mount Juliet doubles up Wilson Central +1, 47-23. In 8-man football, Chattanooga Grace comes to Zion Christian and gets out with a 48-22 victory.
Volleyball on Friday, Hampshire down Santa Fe 3-1. Soccer action, Smyrna down Antioch 5-4. Major League Baseball action over the weekend. Cubs sweep the Rockies 6-0, 6-3, 4-3. Brewers win game 1 16-1, but that's all the offense they can muster. The Marlins win 2 and 3, 5-4, and 6-1. The Pirates 7-5 winners on Friday over the Reds, and then the largest comeback in franchise history to defeat the Reds in game 2, 13-12. The Reds did salvage a win on Sunday, however, 4-2. Braves take 3 of 4 in the 4-game series. They win on Friday 9-6. Lose Sunday game 1 3-2, and game 2 they win 8-5. It was the Royals sweeping the Astros. Wow, 7-5, 3-2, and 6-5 there. Padres take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals, 4-2 and 12-2 in the finale. Cardinals win 5-2 on Saturday. Minor league action, the Sounds sweep the weekend portion of the 6-game series, 8-5, 10-9, and 8-4 over Jacksonville.
I think they wound up winning 5 of 6, right?
They did.
Okay.
And yet the Bulls never lose.
College football action of area interest over the weekend. Tennessee with a 45-14 win over the Roadrunners of Texas San Antonio. Kentucky with a 45-28 win over host Vanderbilt. I never would have thought this game was going to get to that score.
Not in the third quarter.
Yeah. Colorado State ruins homecoming for the Blue Raiders, winning 31-23 at Middle Tennessee State. Jacksonville State, the Rich Rods, defeat visiting Eastern Michigan 21-0. Austin P with a 22-20 win over Stephen F. Austin. In National Football League action of area interest, maybe. Cleveland with a 27-3 win over the visiting Titans. In the WNBA semifinals, both best of fives. Connecticut opens with a 78-63 win over the New York Liberty, taking a 1-0 lead in that semifinal. On the other side, the Las Vegas Aces defeated Dallas 97-83. And on the pitch, Nashville SC and San Jose played to a 1-1 draw.
Volleyball action today at 5 o'clock. Mount Pleasant is at Hampshire. Middle Tennessee Christian hosts Columbia Academy. Webb School is going to Providence Christian, and Santa Fe is at home against Zion Christian. Smyrna is at Warren County at 5:30. It's Ezo Harding and Davidson Academy at 6 tonight. Culleoka hosts Marshall County. Eagleville is at home against Lincoln County. Columbia Central goes to East Hickman, while Green Hill's at home against Oakland. Waverly's at Harpeth. John Overton's at Hendersonville. Lebanon plays host to Laverne. Gallatin is at Liberty Creek. Loretto hosting Lewis County, while Riverdale's at home against Page at 6:30 tonight. It's Wilson Central at Stewart's Creek. And at times unknown to us, University School of Nashville is at Battleground Academy, and Franklin Road Academy travels to Grace Franklin.
On the pitch, 5 o'clock start. Christ Presbyterian Academy is at Battleground Academy. Also at 5, Pope Prep is at Brentwood Academy. Columbia Academy hosts Cornersville. Davidson Academy is at Hunters Lane. McGavock goes to Independence Academy. Whites Creek is at Merrill Hyde. At 6 o'clock, Middle Tennessee Christian hosts Friendship Christian. Also, Clarksville Academy goes to Sycamore. Green Hill is at Valor Collegiate. Culleoka hosts Loretto. White House Heritage goes to Kirkwood at 6:30. It's Montgomery Central at McEwen. At 7, Fairview hosts Marshall County, and Columbia Central travels to Giles County. In Major League Baseball today, there are no games of local interest. How's that?
Yeah, there aren't any.
Okay. And in the NFL, got a Monday night. It's not a doubleheader, but we've got 2 games on Monday night. The Eagles will be at the Raymond James Stadium, taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. That's a 6:15 kickoff on ABC. And at 7:15, the rematch of the Super Bowl, right? From a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. The LA Rams travel to Cincinnati, taking on the Bengals and a less than 100% Joe Burrow. I'll be interested to see how that goes. Again, that's a 7:15 kick on ESPN, and that is your rundown.
Brought to you by our friends at Piggly Wiggly over at Neely's Mill here in Columbia. Make sure to go see them for your meat and 2 lunch specials. Of course, you can also go and get fresh hand-cut meats daily as well as fresh produce, and it's just cost plus 10% at the register. Again, Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Mill Shopping Center right here in Columbia. Fine folks, and we certainly appreciate them. Mo, couple of top stories coming out of First Horizon Park today as number 1, legendary skipper Rick Sweet. You said it. You said he'd get there, and he did.
There we go.
Rick Sweet becomes the all-time winningest manager in Nashville Sounds history with his 321st victory following an 8-4 win over Jacksonville on Sunday. That's a heck of a way to end the year.
It is a great way to end the year. Yeah, it gets him to 321 victories with the Sounds, which puts him 1 ahead of Trent Jewett, who won 320 over 2 stints with the team from 1998 to 2000. And in 2003 and 04, when the Sounds were the AAA affiliate of the Pirates. So a good guy passed a good guy right there. Congratulations to Sweet. Great honor for him. And, you know, as so often happens in the minor leagues, we'll get to see whether he comes back next year and adds to that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
If he don't want to go to the house, I think that he probably has an opportunity to do just that.
You'd like to think. And also, you know, as we said, the Sounds wrapped up the season with an 8-4 victory over Jacksonville yesterday. Notes coming out of that game. Abraham Toro concluded the season for the Sounds with a 37-game on-base streak.
Wow. That's getting on base a lot. That's get it done.
That's pretty amazing to me. 37 straight games this guy got on, either by hit, walk, error,
Didn't matter.
fielder's choice, something.
He was on first base at some point.
That's solid.
Yeah, it really is. So well done to him, and well done to Tyler Black, Jackson Churio, who were named the Nashville Sounds Milwaukee Brewers Robin Yount Performance Award recipients. Churio and Black were named co-players of the year, while Robert Gasser and Carlos Rodriguez were co-pitchers of the year. Not surprising to see Robert Gasser's name in there.
Not at all. And all four of those guys finished the season on the Sounds roster, as you said. So that's pretty solid for the Sounds to have all four of those Brewers top minor leaguers on the club to end the year.
Yeah, Churio is the number 2 prospect in all of baseball.
Yeah, and we heard Adam English talk a little bit about him on Friday when we had him on the show, and just the fact that people are mentioning his name in the same thought with Ronald Acuna Jr., and I don't think it's just because they're both from Venezuela.
No.
So that's something to be mindful of. Churio is the first Brewers minor leaguer to win this award twice, having also done so last year.
Well, you're the number 2 prospect for a reason, though.
Somehow, don't think he's going to win it 3 years in a row.
No, I don't believe you're going to see him in Nashville very long next year.
Yeah, if he's here at all next year, get a good look early.
It'll be a short stint.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Gasser led all of AAA with 166 strikeouts.
He also had the best win percentage in AAA and had the second best ERA.
So arguably the best pitcher in AAA.
If there was a AAA Cy Young, Gasser would have been
certainly in the conversation.
So you got to give him his props, man. I don't think you're going to see him much next year in a Sounds uniform, if at all. So it was a pleasure to watch him pitch. It really was. He was fantastic. So again, congrats to Sweet. Well done, well deserved, and did it in just 4 seasons, which is really impressive. So we look forward to hopefully seeing Rick again in the dugout next year with the Sounds, if he can't find him a spot in the big leagues. Maybe he can. That'd be great too. Before we get out of here, Mo, I want to hand out a little hardware or some stickers, or however you want to put it.
Stickers would be good. We got plenty of them.
We got plenty of stickers.
They just keep showing up.
The Monday Monstars are coming your way here, and I've got a few that I would like to acknowledge. Justin, do you have any today?
Say again. Sorry about that.
Do you have any Monstars today?
I do. Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
how many do you have?
I have a couple. I have a couple. My fantasy team went off, so I had to take notice.
There you go. All right. Well, go ahead and give us one.
I'm going to go with Tua. I mean, I'm just baffled by what he's been doing. Like I was watching the Titans game, and saw his stats kept popping up at the bottom, the scroller, and he was like perfect until the third quarter, like 28 for 28. He's just unbelievable. So he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I have to ask, 28 for 28. Right. We're going to talk later in the show, Chris, about affecting the quarterback. Clearly, Denver did not.
No.
How bad is Denver?
Fair.
I mean, Sean Payton and all. How bad is Denver? 28 for 28?
Again,
it's tough to do that against air, as coaches like to say.
Yeah. It's remarkable. So certainly got to give him his props. Mo, you got anybody?
We're going to start with the high school football game that I was at Friday night after, for what it's worth, I was whelmed, but not overwhelmed by Junkyard Dog. But that said,
you're just mad about the hot fudge.
Well, not just that, but yes. But Lewis County sophomore running back Micah Godfrey, remember the name. 2 weeks ago in a loss to Loretto, he went for 278 yards and 3 touchdowns. setting a new Lewis County single game rushing record. The record lasted a week. Friday against Mount Pleasant, he went for 304 yards on 37 carries with 2 touchdowns in their 43-14 win. So, again, Micah Godfrey, Lewis County, remember the name.
Yeah, no question. Let's see here. I'm going to go to college because our boy Justin Fields said, not Justin Fields, Justin Adams. Not Justin Fields. He is not getting a sticker. If he's getting a sticker, it's a sticker on the back of a bus ticket.
Well, no, if Justin Fields is getting a sticker, it's probably, for survival.
Yeah, well, he's
talked-
struggling.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure it's all his fault. But anyway, go ahead.
Justin Adams told us to watch him, and he delivered. Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward, 28 for 34, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown in their win over Oregon State. So big game from Cam Ward. JK?
Just thinking this off the top of my head, did y'all see the Texans punt return or a kickoff return? It was like
No.
the bigger dude. He's like a fullback. I can't remember. Anyways, my other one officially is the Indianapolis Colts kicker. 5 field goals and an extra point. 25 points for me. I know that doesn't mean anything to anybody, but whew.
And what, 4 of the field goals were from 50 plus? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. My second Monstar is Summit quarterback Mason McElhaney, who on 34 carries rushed for 270 yards and both touchdowns in the Spartans' 13-7 win over Franklin.
That's a heck of a job there, and they needed it.
Yes.
They needed both. They needed both of them.
They needed
for
every
sure.
bit of it. Yeah.
So congrats to him. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get down in the high school ranks. I'm going to give a double award, though, because both of these Williamson County kids won the game for their respective teams. Wells Stanley and Drew Crabtree both kicked game-winning field goals to give their team wins. Crabtree a 16-14 win over Independence, even though I picked it to be a 1-point game and I picked Independence to win. I was so close. Yes.
So close.
So far away.
So close.
Thank
you, Mr. Crabtree.
Yeah. Mr. Crabtree there and Wells Stanley, who kicked the game winner for Centennial to give them a 17-14 win over Nolensville. Huge win in that region. So I'm going to give them props. Final Monstar, Justin.
Let's see. I think I'm going to give it to Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, just the entire Dolphins offense.
It's
Honestly,
tough to go wrong with a Miami player.
Right. And I'm starting to realize he's so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I know probably a lot of people knew that already, but really fast guy.
My third Monstar, and Chris, by the way, Chris is getting 4 Monstars apparently, but I mean, it's okay. But
Well, yeah. But you can't give one game-winning field goal kicker a Monstar award and not give it to the other. But
they could have been 2 of your 3 instead of 2 of your 4. But
no, that's come on.
yeah. My third, because I'm sticking to the rules. My third Monstar is
When have
Boise.
I ever stuck to the rules in this stuff?
Well, there you go.
Top 5 Monstars. I'm always been in the rules.
Yeah.
Wild card.
Yeah. Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty, Jeanty. Jeanty?
Sounds good to me.
Sounded good to Boise State. 23 carries, 203 yards, and a pair of touchdowns this weekend. Also 4 catches for 49 yards.
Big win.
Unfortunately, did they beat
No,
San
they
Diego
lost.
State? They lost to San Diego
Yeah.
State.
Big win for San Diego State,
Big game.
despite.
Yes. For the Boise State running back, Ashton Jeanty.
I'm about to get some flack for this, but I can't not say it. Maxwell Hairston, 2 pick sixes for Kentucky against Vanderbilt.
Who are you going to get flagged from?
Nobody. They don't. They're like, yeah, you're right.
I mean,
2 pick sixes. What do you want them to do?
I mean, if they could tackle, they'd be on defense, right? I mean, yeah. So
Harrison showing that sometimes DBs can also catch. So, yeah, anyway, there's our Monday Mirror Monstars. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we've got a very special guest set to join us, DARRION NIMROD, who is part of the Outsiders movement, not part of, the founder of the Outsiders movement. And we'll talk to him about some things going on in the NFL right now and how they can address issues that they are having, especially when it comes to race relations. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. I'm Chris Young, he's Maurice Patton, and we are excited to be here on this Monday because, well, what else would we rather be doing on Monday? Other than not working. I guess we could, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we're going to be working, we may as well be doing this.
So, yeah. And looking forward to this next segment as we have a very special guest joining us the president of Outsiders Movement, which is a nonprofit organization based in Miami, Florida, and Austin, Texas. And the host of the Lounge podcast is DARRION NIMROD joining us. And he's really dedicated to empowering young adults through community building, events, workshops, etc. But one of the big things that DARRION is focusing on right now is the record of race discrimination and the lack of diversity in the National Football League. And that's what we wanted to talk to you about today, DARRION. So welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, absolutely, DARRION. Obviously, this is a hot button topic on any number of levels, from Jim Trotter's lawsuit against the league to Brian Flores' lawsuit against the league to any number of other directions that you'd want to go in. Why is this important?
It's important just because of the simple fact that the NFL is 56%, African American. There's, it's the majority of the league, and the fact that we're continuously having the same conversation year after year is just showing that it's not being taken seriously. Whether we can talk all the way back to 2016 with Colin Kaepernick, we can talk to 2020 during the pandemic with Jerry Jones's comments then. And now we have, Jim Trotter, Jerry Jones, and Terry Bagula, the owner of the Bills, make allegedly making comments, when it comes to, Black players. And so, this is an ongoing conversation, until there's a thorough understanding of what's happening, it's just going to continue going on.
Yeah. And look, we've talked ad nauseum about especially the Brian Flores situation, because there was literally zero reason for him to have been fired from his job in Miami. But it just, it really feels like going back to the Rooney Rule, and the idea was great, but in practice, it doesn't really work. And all it does is it kind of placates rather than actually giving someone an opportunity. Don't you think?
I mean, it was created to cover the tracks, so to speak. It was made pretty early. It was made in 2003. So, it hasn't often been retouched on, but I know in 2020 they were saying, they definitely wanted to establish that they are setting interviews up for minority head coach candidates, minority general managers, execs. And so, they're getting the interviews, but, there's one name that continuously floats around, and, Eric Bieniemy should definitely be he should definitely be a head coach somewhere if the Rooney Rule was definitely something that was effective, if that makes sense. He gets interviews, so the Rooney Rule is definitely getting used, but when it comes to the hiring, that's the issue.
And DARRION, realistically speaking, just being blunt about it, you can put all the rules in place and all the guidelines in place and all the encouragements in place, but people are going to hire who they feel like is the best candidate. And so some kind of way you have to address thought processes rather than decisions. And again, just speaking realistically, I'm not sure that that's doable.
I mean, it's not doable when, 27 seats in executive positions are not of people of color. So, therefore, that the only way to truly make that change is to put people in seats that can, advise and like, hey, this person is good because X, Y, and Z, and knowing that color is not a factor. We just now got to a point where we have 14 players in the league playing quarterback, starting in the NFL. So, it's certain things that we're making strides on, but when you think about five execs in positions, we have one kind of owner, in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's just certain things that, you would think we're in 2023 should not be a conversation, especially after finding a Black president and a Black vice president and things like that. It's just like this should be easy. This should be easy stuff, but unfortunately it's not. And so, trying to figure out why that is truly the problem. And I think that, Jim Trotter was a person that was trying to get those answers. And unfortunately, when you go into a place like the NFL with no army, this is what happens, So, I definitely appreciate the effort, but unfortunately, that's what happened to him.
That said, Darrion, how do you change the thought process of people who don't necessarily see anything wrong with the way they think?
I mean, we can't change anyone's ignorance. We know that's the case. At the end of the day, all we can do is just spread awareness and spread knowledge. And at the end of the day, hopefully the good thing that we can do is we can shift the minds of our youth so that future generations don't have to have the same issues as to now. But when it comes to older generations, they've been living the same way for years. There's no way that we can finally change their mind when it comes to certain political aspects or minority aspects. It kind of is what it is. But all we can do is just state facts when we speak. So,
I have a few good friends, and a saying among us is, "Been doing it, gonna keep on doing it." And that it's unfortunately kind of applicable here. Darrion Nimrod of the Outsiders Movement joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Where is your focus right now in light of the fact that changing the minds of the people currently making these decisions really is an uphill battle? What is y'all's focal point toward, besides trying to get to the younger generations and making them understand that there's a different way to do things?
I mean, like I said, it's just more of the fact of, again, speaking with knowledge, speaking with facts. Regardless of who we talk to, whatever the age range is, you're obviously going to be able to do that. The only reason why we focus on the young adults is just because of the fact that these are minds that can be molded. They, certain things have to be taught. It's not some things that are just naturally, instilled into someone. And the great thing about us as outsiders is we're able to guide and speak to these young adults and give them the knowledge that they need and give them the voice that they need so they can sit in seats like myself and speaking towards these issues when they arrive. I will say that it sucks because I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for the flag, it was very unfortunate that I missed that year because I was boycotting that year. And so ironically, they win the Super Bowl the year I'm not even watching the NFL. And then I would go ahead and watch it the last year and they make it and they lose to my hometown Kansas City Chiefs. So, it's very difficult.
You've had some struggles with the league, huh?
Yeah. It's very
now
difficult.
we know.
Yeah.
But no, but at the end of the day, I just know that I am going to side with, people that know morally what is right. We know morally, we don't have these issues with other demographics in the NFL. They have 8 initiatives in the NFL that cater to inclusion and diversity. They have one for the Latino community, the Asian community, the Black community, LGBTQ community, young adults community, whatever the case may be. But they do not have an ongoing issue, but with one community. And so the question is, why is that? Especially when I say again that the NFL is 56% Black as far as its players. We don't. How many Latino NFL players do we know? How many Asian NFL players do we know besides the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons? Who else do we know that we should be advocating for when we know we're a majority of the league and we don't have these issues with maybe the NBA? We don't have that issue where it's a higher community of NFL or of Black players. And so is it, and I think the difference between the NFL and the NBA is that they have a community of players that they have the voice and they are able to sacrifice when it comes to political issues. Main issue is because their contract is fully guaranteed. They can not play and still get paid. But when it comes to the NFL, you're affecting game checks. There's 53 players, so they don't really look at it like, oh, it's the one player. It's probably only one player in the NFL that probably can get away with most of this mess, and his name is Patrick Mahomes. It's just it's probably only one. But at the end of the day, like we have to be able to, as the NFL, they have to be able to stand up and say, hey, these things do not seem right. And we're going to be able to stand up as representation for the players. So when a CBA actually happens, there's things that's actually going on instead of how much of my money is fully guaranteed. Because that's all the CBA is about. How much money am I going to get this next 10 years? And that's about it. Not about, hey, can we get the people that are going to be after me getting taken care of, the people before me getting insurance, the people that can I get someone that looks like me when I'm negotiating a contract? Can I get a person that looks like me when I walk on the field and I'm wearing their colors? Those conversations haven't been had. So we're only scratching the surface, but those conversations are happening in other leagues.
Darrion, I'm curious how much, because you mentioned the NBA and obviously the demographics have been majority black players for a lot longer, I think, than the NFL has. Mm-hmm. How much of it is time? Is that, we see guys like, and I don't want to be ageist here, but, Andy Reid and Bill Belichick, and there's just a lot of old white guys who are in charge. I mean, maybe when those old white guys are gone and the successful old white guys, Pete Carroll coaches, is that maybe when this trend can you can start seeing that turnover because it's simply just time?
I mean, you can say it's a factor, but when it comes to people who ultimately make decisions, it's not the head coaches. When it comes to Andy Reid is a person that's going to stand for social injustice more than another person. He's the one that brought Michael Vick into his team.
Yeah, sure. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I'm just curious because obviously the NFL has been around longer than any other, either outside of Major League Baseball. It's been around longer, so they're those thought processes, as Mo said, they're more ingrained. There are guys who have been coaching since the early 90s who are still just, tooling around the league just because they've been around forever and they played in the 70s or whatever. And that's just kind of, again, it just feels like time. Now, obviously we want, time shouldn't matter and maybe experience shouldn't matter. This is a completely different football game than we saw 20 years ago. This is not the same game as that we were playing 20 years ago, period. But I'm just that's kind of my thought process is maybe it's just time.
Well, I mean, I guess we can kind of shift this to it's the same sport but different place. When you think about Coach Prime coming into college football, it took him 2 years to shift the face of college football. 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that we need Coach Prime to go in the NFL because I don't think he's going to be good with coaching adults instead of kids. And I think he knows that, but, it has to be someone who understands that in itself, who is going to shift the face of college football because Nick Saban has been taking over college football for years. There has been people like Urban Meyer. All these guys have been sitting in roles for years, letting football be the same. And then you bring Coach Prime in and he's able to shift it in a matter of of 2 years. So, we just need someone that's going to be that's going to advocate for not only for, the league before its players and be able to say like, hey, we need people in like myself in these roles and upper management roles and ownership roles. And sure, yeah, time can pass by, but we know that it can be a revolving door if that's the case, because, once Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, all these guys retire, then, Sean McVay will be the next old person. It doesn't matter if we're not changing the scope of what we're doing and having people actually advocate for what's going on in the NFL.
That being said, how important is it that Magic Johnson and that group are taking over the Washington football franchise? Whatever.
Commanders.
Well, if we call them Commanders, apparently they're thinking about changing the name again. So, I'm just going to say football franchise.
It's a big deal. I think that he's what is he, 51% owner?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
Might be a little less, but we've been kind of working on that for years. If you remember back, I want to say 2019, we were going to get Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, LeBron, all these guys that own the Panthers. Diddy. We were going to get all these guys from the Panthers. So it's definitely huge. It's a start. I think that there are certain owners that shouldn't be in seats just because of the fact of their political views. They just showed like what last year of Jerry Jones in the 1950s, like with a group of, people that might not enjoy black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's blatant at this point. It's like a slap in the face. Like, it's blatant. Jerry Jones probably like, I dare y'all to kick me out of here. I'm not Dan Snyder. I dare y'all.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, same thing for this Bills owner. If he allegedly said that, he should not be in that seat. Now, if that happened in the NBA, they already been gone. So that's what I'm saying is like, if this has actually happened and we know this has happened and everyone's kept it on the hush, then that's the issue, is that no one's advocating, no one's saying anything. The players are not coming together, for issues that are happening within their league. It's one thing to kind of carry towards social issues. There's another one to actually advocate for your job, and so, yes, you get paid millions of dollars and, it's not guaranteed. But at the end of the day, like, what is your sole purpose in this world if you cannot speak in something that you believe in? You're just living the rest of your life making millions and making millions, and then what? Your legacy goes no further. Colin Kaepernick's legacy goes way further than half of these NFL players. Why? Because he sacrificed his career for what? Something that he believed in. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm Jenkins, all these guys, like, they can sacrifice and be okay with, hey, I have millions of dollars in endorsements. It can end here. So, yeah.
Darrion, Nimrod. Darrion, tell folks how they can get involved with the Outsiders Movement if they'd like.
Outsidersmovement.com. You can follow us on @The Outsiders Movement on Instagram. And then my personal one is DJ DADON 2 underscores on Instagram.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for taking time with us today. Very informative stuff, and look forward to all those things that you're doing in the world.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, baseball, Braves chatter, and more right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. 25th, 2010. Set to retire at the end of the season, Bobby Cox notched one final milestone prior to his departure. With the Braves' 5-0 win at Washington, Cox joined Connie Mack, one, John McGraw, and Tony La Russa as the fourth major league manager to earn 2,500 career victories. Cox finished with 2,504 wins and an MLB record 162 ejections, including a franchise best 2,149 victories with the Braves. That was this day in Braves history.
Always a good day. We can get a dub. Mo, 3 of the 4 games in Washington, not surprisingly, go the way of the Braves. A little surprisingly, it felt like the offense had to do a little more than maybe we expected or wanted them to have to do.
From the standpoint that the wins were more offensively oriented and less pitching oriented?
Yes.
Yes.
Against the Washington Nationals.
Against the Nationals, yes. Would have liked to have seen a little bit better performances out of the starters. Certainly would have liked to have come out of that series with healthy Max Fried and Charlie Morton. And not have to worry about that, heading into the postseason. It's kind of been a remain calm, all is well type of message coming out of the manager's office and the GM's office, but still the fact that half of your projected 4-man postseason rotation is currently on the IL is not encouraging.
Yeah, at least one of them will be available for the NLDS, and that is Max Fried. Charlie Morton, however, would need to, 1, be healthy, and 2, replace someone else who was injured and would not be eligible for the NLCS. So
basically, you just got to wait on him until the NLCS.
Most likely. But here's the thing. You need 4 pitchers.
4 starters.
You need 4 starters, and
I guess that means Kyle Wright's going to have to,
So they're apparently they've got
Buttercup.
Kyle Wright slated to be in the bullpen this week to come out of the pen
this week
for the Braves against the Cubs and maybe even the Nationals as well, in order to see how he reacts to coming out of the bullpen and how well he pitches in that type of role. I fully expect that the NLDS will be either Fried or Fried.
I like
Fried
that.
or Strider. And
Strider or Fried.
Strider or Fried, Bryce Elder, and then Fried or Strider, Strider or Fried. That's the way that I expect it to go.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty well forces your hand into a Bryce Elder Game 3 start.
And here's the worst part about that. Game 3 will likely be your opponent's number 1, because they'll be coming out of that wild card series. So either Game 2 or Game 3 is going to be your 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead, now of course, it's much better if you're pitching Max Fried and Spencer Strider against, the other team's 3 and 4
mm-hmm.
guys. So get those 2 wins out of the way. You can afford to lose Game 3 on the road. That's, it's not ideal, but you can afford it.
Yeah.
And then you close it out with Fried or Strider in Game 4 and be done.
Strider and Fried in Game 5. And I guess the good thing in that scenario is you've got Morton for Game 1 of the LCS.
Yep, you've got Morton available. And here's the thing, and this is the way that I said do it. I got into a little bickering with another guy, but honestly,
really?
he said that it would go one way. I said I think it's going to go another way, and he just acted like what he said was gospel. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Snit, I didn't know you had. Shouldn't you be managing a game right now? But anyway, he just treated it like it was gospel. That it was going to be Freed, Strider, Elder, Freed, Strider. And I said, well, why not go Strider?
Based on
Freed?
what?
Well, exactly. He's your ace. Okay. Well, I mean, Spencer Strider's probably going to be the runner-up for, if not runner-up, he's going to be third in Cy Young voting. I would say he could probably be considered an ace. That's all I'm saying. You could make an argument that Spencer Strider is as good as anybody's ace.
I mean, Strider's got a chance. I know wins don't mean anything. I mean, they're the only thing that your placement is based on, but wins for a pitcher don't mean anything. I get it. But Strider's got a chance to win 20.
And strike out 300.
No, he's not going to strike out 300.
He's going to get 20 in the next 2 games, both of them. Let's go.
I don't think he's not going to pitch another 2 games, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay. So, but I mean,
Maybe.
he's got.
We don't have anybody else. We got 6 games left, so yeah, he might.
Wins and strikeouts don't mean anything, but I would think that it does mean something to have the most of both. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
No, it doesn't.
In 2023, I don't know anything about baseball anymore.
Not about pitching.
Not about WAR and FWAR and OPS and all that other stuff either. I mean,
look, Spencer Strider has struck out 274 people. His whip is 1.07, which is really good. And batting average against is 208. And here's the thing. He's actually
batting average doesn't mean anything though, does it?
Well,
I mean, when we're talking about offensive players, batting average doesn't mean anything. So why does batting average against mean anything for pitchers?
His ERA is pretty high though. His ERA is 3.81. If they get on base, they're probably going to score. That's kind of the thing,
like, yeah.
Which is very unusual. But he's actually been kind of unlucky if you look at, stats like FIP, et cetera. So
I don't.
It's just odd, but that's neither here nor there. Strider could certainly pitch game 1, which would set you up for Freed in game 2, Elder in game 3, Strider in game 4, and then you've got your ace, Max Fried, in game 5 to win it. And if you don't need game 5, guess who's available for game 1 now?
Your ace
of the NLCS. So that's just kind of where I'm at. I think you could certainly go Strider against their 3 or 4 in coming out of that wild card. Mm-hmm. Then you go Freed, then you go Elder, and go from there. That's how I looked at it. But look, I'm fine if it's Freed, Strider, Elder, Freed, Strider. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be upset with that. I'm just saying to me, there is a deeper way of looking at it.
There is a deeper way of looking at it. And I think the one thing that you want to try to do is keep your ace away from their ace.
That's right.
Not that you
don't have
are
confidence.
Scared of their ace, but you don't want to throw your ace and lose. And so, it's kind of like what you see sometimes in college baseball conference series where teams throw their ace in game 2 because everybody else is throwing their ace in game 1. And if you throw your ace and you lose,
well,
then what?
We did that in high school. I mean, we would throw our number 2 in game 1 of a 3-game series in the playoffs because if we sneak around and win game 1,
then we're gonna finish it.
We finishing it.
Yeah,
and we felt more confident.
And if we don't, then we're gonna win game 2.
Yeah, and we feel more confident in our 3 at Class 1A anyway than we did.
If you got 3,
we had 3. We had 4. And so, I mean, that's and if you're the Braves, you've got 4. Now, maybe not in the DS, but you've got 4 in the NLCS.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I feel like this is kind of a silly conversation because it doesn't really matter. Either one is fine. we can just throw Frater in 1, Frater in 2, Frater in 4, and Frater in 5, and let's get this thing in. And it was so funny, earlier someone, who was it that mentioned it was Dayton from Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we're incredibly lucky the NLDS has a weird day off after game 1. Under the ALDS schedule, we'd likely have to do a bullpen game for game 4. And I said, imagine thinking we're going to need 4 games. Let's just get this thing out of the way. So anyway, Braves do welcome the Cubbies. And
it will be interesting to see how much of a deal baseball is at Truist Park this week.
I hope that at Braves Organist will take my suggestion. And when Dansby Swanson comes to bat, he plays.
Let's make a deal.
Leanne Rhymes smash hit. Big deal. So what? Who cares? We'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to play it, but it would be great. And anybody that actually hears it and knows what it is going to love it. Most people won't know what it is. I will, and I will think it's fantastic. So anyway, let's take a short break. Terry McCormick standing by with your top of the hour Titans report. We will get to it right after this. Stick around.
He shoots, and he scores!
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Time now to take a look at your daily Titans update from Titan Insider, powered by Zen Sports. Terry McCormick joining us. Terry, what's up?
Well, guys, it is your daily Titans report powered by Zen Sports, the new sports book in Tennessee that's changing the bonus game for the better. And I'll just start by this. The game yesterday, that's going to be one that's kind of hard to polish and put a positive spin on any way you look at it. It was just a total beatdown up in Cleveland that the Titans suffered up there. 94 yards of total offense, 5 sacks allowed. 2 long touchdowns, missed assignments, and blown coverages around, plus 80 yards and penalties. Just other than special teams, which acquitted itself with Ryan Stonehouse's punting and Nick Folk salvaging that one fumble that Sean Murphy-Bunting recovered to get a field goal out of it. Just a totally dismal and lost day for the Titans.
Pretty well covers it. It really does. Thank you, Terry. Yeah,
I really don't know what more you can say outside of just, badgering the entire day. So,
there's really not a whole lot else to say. The Titans had 94 total offensive yards, their worst offensive performance in 20 years, Terry? More.
17, I think. I think they had 98 yards or something like that in a game in Vince Young's rookie season, but that was a day I think the defense had 3 scores, something crazy like that. But certainly there's a lot to be fixed. And my question is this, guys, how much of it can you fix? I mean, I heard you guys talking baseball a while ago, talking as I was in the green room, so to speak. Trying to fix a bad offensive line in football is like trying to fix a bad bullpen in baseball. Once the season starts, it's just hard to do. You can reshuffle the roles, but doesn't guarantee it's going to get any better. To my way of thinking, I really believe that they have to give Peter Skoronski a look at left tackle when he gets back from the appendectomy surgery that he had.
How much worse can it be?
What does it hurt?
Well, I mean, and here's the reason I say that, because Skoronski's a first-round pick. And yes, I feel like that when they made both of these moves, drafting Skoronski in the first round, shortly after they had given Andre Dillard a 3-year, $29 million contract, they had hoped that by having a new left tackle and putting Skoronski at left guard, that they would solve two problems and this be a win-win. But to me, with the way Dillard has played and struggled, and with Dylan Radins giving you maybe a little more, a little sooner than you expected, I think when Skoronski's ready to go, you've got to seriously think about making that change. Because if he can be your left tackle, it solves the problem for the next 5, 6, 7 years, like it did with Taylor Lewan. If he can't, then one of the primary positions you've got to address in the 2024 draft is probably left tackle.
Yeah, and to a point that Chris and I made off air earlier, this roster had more problems than could be addressed in one offseason.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it did. I mean, and you think about it, they're going to have a whole lot of cap space to spend in this offseason. But they're also, you think about it right now, they're probably going to be replacing Ryan Tannehill. They're probably going to be replacing Derrick Henry. They're probably going to lose T.R. Tart, and they're going to lose Christian Fulton. Now, some of those maybe,
they're going to lose Christian Fulton. Is that what you said?
That's addition by subtraction, Terry.
Yes. I mean, he will probably be gone at the end of the year. His contract is up, and so far he hasn't played well enough to earn an extension. So, a lot of money to spend, but a lot of holes to fill, and I'm also of the belief of this. I think that if this thing doesn't get turned around by the time they get back from London, if they're 1-5 and they're 3 games or 4 games out in the division, now granted that's their one saving grace is that the division looks to be terrible.
Right.
If they're 1-5 at that point and haven't won any more games, if they've lost at Indy and they lose at home this week to Cincinnati and they lose in London to the Ravens, all of which are possibilities now. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to turn this thing over to Will Levis to see if he can be the guy and if he can potentially be your franchise quarterback that you drafted him to be.
You're going to get him killed.
Not past Malik Willis or to short sell him, but you got to look at Willis in the preseason. You saw how much he had improved. You've got to see if Levis has a higher ceiling or is more advanced because you didn't get to see that much in the preseason.
You're going to get him killed.
You're going to get him killed, but I'm reminded
but
of the
he
line.
He played at Kentucky, so he was used to that last year.
Really, really bad the year he had no offensive line. So bad, in fact, that nobody wanted him after last year.
I'm reminded of the line from the Russian in the Rocky movie here, though. If he dies, he dies. I mean, you got to find out at some point if he is your guy, because if he's not, then you got to draft another one next year. You're right. So I don't disagree with that thought process necessarily.
But it's the same thing that we talked about with Malik Willis.
You can't tell?
How are you going to know? How are you going to know what you've got with him if he's back there trying to, not die every time he takes a snap? This is Bo Nix. This is Auburn Bo Nix and Oregon Bo Nix. Auburn Bo Nix, bad. Why? Because he had to run for his life every single week. Oregon Bo Nix, good. Why? Because he doesn't have to run for his life every single week. Fix the offensive line. Didn't worry about quarterback.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think we can say that about Ryan Tannehill. When he has
Yes.
protection, he's still a decent quarterback. But when he doesn't and he's running for his life, he's not going to be accurate. And heck, half the time he's not upright. They've already allowed 13 sacks through 3 games, guys.
What did you put out the stat? 76 they're on pace for, something like that?
74, I think it is. Let's not, hey, so not quite as bad.
Well, I mean, if you account for how it's steadily trending each week, it's getting worse.
But again, NPF is back in what? Week
3 weeks. He's allowed back in the building today.
So that's, help is on the way?
Perhaps. I mean, he wasn't exactly, the second coming of Anthony Munoz his rookie year. By comparison, he was much better than Dennis Daly.
But I mean, relative to what you've got right now, just about anybody short of Dennis Daly could look like Anthony Munoz on this line.
Dennis Daly beat the Cowboys this week. Dennis Daly hate is out.
I'm not sure what he had to do with it, but okay.
He kept Josh Dobbs upright, didn't he? Josh Dobbs wasn't running for his life all day. Why? Because they beat the Cowboys.
Maybe we should have kept Josh Dobbs.
Maybe so. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
maybe we calm down on Dennis Daly today.
Today.
Maybe tomorrow, different story. But yeah, I mean, look, the offensive line could in week 4, week 5, this offensive line could be a completely different unit.
Needs to be.
Well, something needs to change. I mean, I don't think you guys disagree with that at all.
No.
Something needs to change. So, we'll see if things come together. But if not, then they've got to start taking a long, hard look at doing something different.
Yeah, I can't wait until I think you're right. I think Skaronski's got to go to tackle. Radens stays at guard. Petit Friere, you put him on the right side. I don't know that you have to get rid of Chris Hubbard right now. Chris Hubbard's playing fairly well. I mean,
Chris Hubbard's played as good as any lineman they've had, to be honest with you. I mean, none of those guys are playing at a Pro Bowl level, but I'd say Chris Hubbard has probably been about as good as any of those 5.
Yeah. So, I mean, he at least gives you a little bit of depth options and can step in when inevitably someone else gets hurt, because it will happen. So anyway, yeah, man, that was good stuff, Terry. Tell us about Zen Sports.
All right, I will. Zen Sports is the new sports book in Tennessee, revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. With Zen Sports, your rewards are cash rewards you bet with real money, and now you're rewarded with it too. Earn a whopping 5% cashback welcome bonus for your first 15 days when you sign up with code Main Street, MAINST. Keep betting and keep earning every month after that, up to 3% cashback rewards on your betting volume. Best of all, earn cash commission on your referrals with Zen Sports Referral Rewards Program. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Right now, they have a dragon here. I saw it. Wait, no, they don't. There's no such thing as dragons. I swear, I saw it. It had huge claws. Get out of here. It had eyes as big as the moon. Come on, I'll show you. Wait up. Do you hear that? We're almost there. Whoa! I told you so. That is a dragon.
Welcome back in. Mo, to compound on this, and I don't, we just talked a lot about the offensive line, but you asked it earlier, what's worse, the offensive line or the defensive secondary? And Christian Fulton certainly has not been great in the defensive secondary.
No,
Sean Murphy
he
Bunting had a forced fumble yesterday, which, set up what could have been.
I feel like if he could have kept his feet on that, he could have scored.
Oh, absolutely.
And Unfortunately, it feels like that's what
They
needed
would
to happen.
they would have needed that. No, absolutely. And that being said, though, Murphy Bunting is not bad. He's really physical. He's probably going to get more flags than you really want him to get. But, this team is –
At least he's present.
He's there. This team has struggled with injuries in the defensive backfield, and more problem yesterday than anything was the Titans didn't get the pressure that at all that they are typically used to getting, which allowed Deshaun Watson to kind of sit back there and make some really easy throws.
And Deshaun Watson coming off of a pretty solid game a week ago against Pittsburgh. Is that who they played last week?
Mm-hmm.
So had some confidence, I feel like, going into this Tennessee Titans matchup and just continued to, play with confidence. And, if you've listened to Mike Vrabel at all during his Tennessee Titans coaching tenure, one of the keys for this defense from week to week is to affect the quarterback, and they never did.
Speaking of Mike Vrabel, we have long been Mike Vrabel stands here on this show. We feel like Vrabel is a really good football coach, and I still think that Mike Vrabel is a very good football coach.
Snippy and all.
There are a lot of things that he does really well. There's one particular thing that he does not do well, and that is hire offensive coordinators.
Clearly.
And that's got to change. At some point, somebody's got to say, Mike, if they're in this building, they're off limits.
Yeah, go outside and find somebody, talk to some people outside this organization, find out who a good offensive coordinator is for what you've got here, and go get somebody who is not currently drawing a check from St. Thomas Sports Park.
And
because for all of the issues with the offensive line, like you said, Tim Kelly never gave Andre Dillard any help at any point yesterday, against Myles Garrett.
At least not that I saw. Now, full disclosure, I stopped watching the game in the third quarter.
I don't think anything changed.
I don't know. Maybe it did.
I doubt it.
Could not tell you. But what I will say is when you do that, the problem with that is now you're blocking 5 people with 6 or 7 guys.
Which means you're taking somebody out of
You've got 3 guys in a route concept with 6 guys
covering them.
You're not going to win very often 6 on 3. If they can double cover everybody you send out, that's not good odds.
And maybe that's so Tim Kelly's kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation.
I mean, he is. And again, it all comes back to the offensive line, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got to be able to protect your quarterback. And I'm just curious if trust me, I don't think they had a very good – I don't think they have very good route concepts. I don't think they have very good scheme at all. But
I think Cleveland kind of blew up whatever they did have too.
Well, I mean, you go back to week 1. They didn't have great route concepts and whatnot. So it really didn't last week. They were able to get some yardage out of Derrick Henry, which they got 0 from yesterday. Derrick Henry had negative fantasy points. I mean, dude, here's the thing is we're sitting here in week 3, and I don't know that Derrick Henry has 100 yards rushing.
Through 3 weeks?
Yeah. And we all know that in order for – and look, I am not saying that Ryan Tannehill is going to win us football games. That's not what the Titans need him to do. It's not what they've asked him to do. They never asked him to win football games. What they asked him to do was keep defenses honest. Well, if they don't have to worry about the run because they're getting penetration on every single play, then you're asking Ryan Tannehill to do something that he's probably not capable of doing.
not capable of doing in this offense.
Particularly in this offense.
Because to be able to throw the ball downfield, you got to have time for those routes to develop.
And on top of that, 3 times yesterday, Ryan Tannehill made fantastic throws that were dropped. 2 of them by Traylon Burks. And one of them particularly that I tweeted after and said, that's a catch that A.J. Brown makes 10 times out of 10 because he's just strong enough to make the catch. It hit him in the hands with a guy draped on him, and he just couldn't bring it in. A.J. Brown makes that catch 10 times out of 10. If Traylon Burks is supposed to be our A.J. Brown, he's got to make that catch. So I just there are issues everywhere, but I still feel like if you shore up the offensive line and you get them
of the other issues get mitigated
work.
by a decent offensive line.
Every other issue changes.
Because you get more time.
You have more running lanes. Tajay Spears has been fantastic. He caught 4 balls yesterday.
So, yeah.
Anyway, that's just kind of I just feel like the Titans situation is offensively.
And the toughest thing about it is, again, I mean, as Terry talks about having to take a look at Will Levis, and if they get to 1-5 or somewhere along through there, you have to think about that. But again, the AFC South
is still winnable.
Even at 1-5.
Okay, but do you want to win it?
I think anytime you have an opportunity to win.
But you're not going to win a Super Bowl, so all you're going to do is put yourself in a bad draft position.
I mean,
all you're going to do is put yourself in a bad draft position. You're going to end up drafting 18th, 19th, 20th, and you can't get a left tackle there.
We've said it before on this show. This is not a fan base that's going to take tanking or not playing to win very well, I don't think. Especially when you are, touting a new stadium that a good portion of the community is not for.
Well, that being said, can you withstand that? Can you withstand that hate, or would you rather be basically mediocre? And I would rather have a frustrated base tank and get a decent draft pick so we can be good in the future versus having a frustrated fan base because we're mediocre every year and occasionally we take the number 1 seed and then we blow it. It's kind of a catch-22, but it's also kind of a win-win. If you're going to have a frustrated fan base,
might as well get something out of the frustration.
Might as well get something out of it. So that's kind of I don't know. I mean, do you want to win the division? I think that it would be really hard for a Mike Vrabel team to commit to tanking. I mean,
I think it'd be really hard for Mike Vrabel to commit to tanking.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that he would be,
I don't think he's built like that.
Yeah. And so it would be really difficult to kind of put him in a situation like that. I don't know that he would be
other than just
we have
giving him subpar personnel. I mean, which he's coached up.
Yeah. Heck, he took the top overall seed one year with personnel that probably had no business being there. So I don't know, man. I just feel like week 6 is kind of, that's where we find out. By the way, the Titans are a slight favorite.
1.5 points
over the Bengals right now next Sunday.
I mean, if Joe Burrow doesn't play, that changes everything.
It certainly changes a lot.
Is Vegas not expecting them to play?
I don't know.
I don't know what there is that makes the Titans a 1.5-point favorite over the Bengals.
No.
I don't. The math ain't mathing.
Who knows? Who knows?
Vegas knows.
Vegas knows something. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's keep talking NFL. Plenty of things to get to. Rapid fire NFL reactions right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Mo Patton here on this Monday Mirror edition as we look back at the world of sports from the weekend. And Mo, before we get into the NFL, wanted to mention we said it in the rundown, but how about Connecticut? Connecticut's Sun getting a big win over New York in Game 1 behind DeWanna Bonner's 20 points.
We have mentioned DeWanna Bonner, twice in the last three shows?
Keep it going for her, I guess.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of anti-liberty sentiment amongst WNBA followers. So go, Sun.
Well, I think a lot of folks are, upset with them and Las Vegas.
Well, I mean, they've been the favorites.
Stacking their teams.
Well, stop us.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I mean, that's where the that's where the hate's coming from. But yeah, Connecticut with a big win there. Obviously, always cool to see the small market teams win, even if it is Connecticut.
How small a market is Connecticut?
Well, I mean, where they play.
Yeah.
How small a market is Wisconsin, right? I mean, but yeah, it's always cool to see that. But I gotta feel like the Liberty are going to bounce back and with a vengeance. So
Yeah. That's it's kind of like poking the bear to some degree. Have you awakened them? And if so, are you ready for the awakening?
Yeah.
So.
Into the NFL we go. Josh Dobbs, we mentioned it earlier, leads the Arizona Cardinals.
And Dennis Daly.
Yes. Josh Dobbs and Dennis Daly, baby. Yeah. The Titans legends. As they get a big win over the Cowboys, 28-16 for their first win of the year. That's not going to be great for the tanking that folks think the Cardinals are doing.
Yeah, they're supposed to be tanking for Caleb, right?
Yeah, they're tanking in general. I don't know for whom.
It's tough to tank when you've got a contract like Kyler Murray's on your books.
Well, the good thing is that
to tank for someone at that position.
Well, the good thing is that there's a rookie maximum. So there's that. They get them for cheap.
Yeah, I guess.
But Josh Dobbs, 17 of 21 for 189 yards and a touchdown.
17 of 21.
Oh, and James Conner, by the way, absolute fantastic. I mean, 14 for 98, touchdown. Had a big catch.
Anytime that guy does well,
yeah,
you like to see it, given his
history.
His history. Yeah.
Absolutely. And given the fact that he's on my fantasy team. Oh. So particularly, I love seeing it. So, of course, it didn't matter. Everyone else is hurt. So, literally, Austin Eckler, the J.K. Dobbins. I picked up J.K. Dobbins back up, and he got hurt. He went out at halftime after running for 50 yards on 11 carries in the first half. It's like, geez, man. And so now I'm out here just trying to find somebody that needs a wide receiver that can spare a running back. And I found a guy because Mike Williams of the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers. Mike Williams of the Chargers.
They're always going to be the San Diego Chargers.
Might as well be. I'm with it. But he goes out with an ACL. He's done for the year. So, it's not ideal. Keenan Allen had 18 catches for 215 yards for the Chargers yesterday in their win over the Vikings. The Vikings, who are 0-3, by the way. I know. Like, what?
What's worse, the NFC North or the AFC South?
That's a really good question, actually.
Kirk Cousins.
I mean, the Lions are looking really good right now. The Lions are looking like they got a shot at this thing. So, as long as they don't screw up from here. But I thought it was interesting day yesterday. Of course, like I said, Josh Dobbs, CJ Stroud outplaying Trevor Lawrence and just absolutely dominated.
You love to see it.
The Texans dominated the Jaguars. The Jaguars, man, media darlings.
I mean, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, a defensive-minded coach. And maybe Houston's not as far off as we wanted to make them be.
Well, the Colts are leading the division. They're 2-1. The only team in the division that's 2-1. And they beat Baltimore, who is pretty good.
They shouldn't have beat Baltimore. Baltimore got hosed on that interference play over the middle.
They did.
That wasn't called. Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. And I mean, what's the kicker's name?
From Indianapolis?
No.
Justin Tucker.
Yes. When has he ever missed a money kick? Short.
61 yards is a long way, but Justin Tucker does not miss past 50 with the game on the line almost ever. I don't know
until
that he
yesterday.
Ever had. Yeah, he was perfect, I think.
I mean, man.
Yesterday. So,
yeah, I mean, the stars lined up right for Indianapolis yesterday, despite Gardner Minshew stepping out the back of the end zone for a safety on one play. I mean,
hey man, it happens.
You're right. Anyway,
Minshew did have a pretty good game, though. I mean, as far as
other than the safety,
as far as backups go, but it doesn't hurt when you've got guys running for 120 yards.
No,
Zach Moss, 30 carries, 122 yards. Look, the NFL right now is, and this is the way they want it. They want it this way every year.
Who's undefeated?
Who's undefeated?
Yeah,
well, that's a great question. Let me see, because I just had the standings up, and then I clicked away because I didn't think I needed them. The Dolphins, the Eagles, they play tonight, right? As well as the Bucks and the 49ers are.
So the Eagles and the Bucks are both undefeated, and they play each other.
They play tonight.
Okay. And then
so 3-0 are
the 49ers.
The 49ers and the Dolphins, and that's it.
So the Dolphins are the only team in the AFC that's undefeated.
That's correct.
So coming out of tonight, you're going to have 3 teams at 3-0.
Correct.
Wow.
At least. You could
that's
have.
it. Eagles and Bucks play each other.
I thought there was somebody else that was 2-0. I'm sorry.
No. Eagles, Bucks, 49ers, Dolphins.
And then Rams and who did we say? Bengals play tonight.
Yeah, but neither of them is
correct.
Undefeated.
Bengals are 0-2. Yeah, I mean, this is.
I mean, has parity hit?
How good are the Dolphins, man?
Good enough to hang 70 on Denver.
70 points. That's a lot of points, y'all.
You think?
The Miami Dolphins had more yards yesterday than the Titans have all season.
Yep.
And the Jets, for that matter.
They play at Buffalo next week.
I mean, that's.
And Josh Allen ain't showed me a whole lot.
Well, I mean, they've won their last 2. Of course, it's the Raiders and the Commanders, so you take that as you will.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this is to me, it looks like the Dolphins are kind of the class of the AFC right now, along with the Chiefs, and that's it.
Who expected that?
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, seriously, like I thought the Dolphins would win the division this year, but I didn't think they'd be 3-0. I didn't think Tua Tagovailoa was the MVP after 3 weeks.
Didn't think they were going to score 70 on anybody.
Even as bad as. Why did Sean Payton take that job? Outside of money, why do you take the job? Wasn't a good job.
Because he felt like whatever was wrong with Russell Wilson was the fault of the previous coaching regime, and he could fix it. And I had a ultra successful high school football coach tell me almost 30 years ago that is the shortcoming of every coach. Every coach feels like every situation, whatever's gone on there in the past, I can fix it.
Okay, but.
Right.
Okay, but 65% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's been sacked 10 times in 3 games. So what does that sound like to you?
Sounds like their offensive line isn't great either.
It
all starts up front.
And when your number 1 receiver is a speedster like Jerry Jeudy, you got to have time to let him get down the field.
To let him speed. Yeah.
You gotta You got to let him go. And their defense is just not very good.
Mhm.
They have 4 sacks on the year total. Tackles for loss, I don't see that on here. But they're not very good defensively. Obviously, they gave up 70 freaking points.
Yeah, and that's going to kind of skew things a little bit too.
Well, they gave up 35 to the Commanders, who scored, 3 yesterday against the Bills?
35. So that's 105 in 2 games.
Yeah. And game 1 wasn't much better.
Oof.
So,
man.
Yeah, well,
you may not be the only one asking why Sean Payton took that job. Sean Payton may be asking why Sean Payton took that job
going,
as well.
okay, I didn't realize, I knew I could fix the offense. Offense ain't the problem.
Does Sean Payton pull a Bobby Petrino at some point?
Maybe.
Put notes in people's lockers?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
He may pull.
I can't do it.
He may pull 2 Bobby Petrinos at once, put notes in lockers, and then get on a motorcycle. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Yeah, but yeah, I thought that the weekend was really interesting. Did you see the final play for the Vikings?
No.
So they couldn't get the crowd to shut up, and they couldn't get the play called. And there was miscommunication.
It's a bad combination.
It's like you're the home team. Shut up.
You're not helping us. Stop doing stupid stuff to hurt the team.
Oh, man. But, yeah, then that gives the Chargers, making at least one coach happy this week.
The Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers beat the Vikings 28-20.
Yeah, but I mean the Chargers, who aren't great either.
Well, yeah. How bad is this? They gave up Justin Herbert completed 40 passes for 405 yards yesterday. They had 445 yards passing because Keenan Allen had 1-for-1 with a touchdown, 49 yards. God. He also had 215 yards receiving. So, dude had 5 yards of offense. That's nuts.
Especially in the league.
They ran for 30 yards, Mo. They ran 15 times for 30 yards.
Oh.
Josh Palmer lost a fumble. That's unfortunate. But did have a touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so here's my question. Is it Tavis? Or is it Trailer? What's the new cute couple name for Travis and Taylor?
It's gotta be Trailer. It's
a trailer for try.
Yeah.
I think Tavis.
Tavis is good. Honestly, did you see the Chiefs sideline?
Mm-mm.
The Chiefs sideline throughout the entire game, you have people looking at like, who? That's who? Dude, that's Taylor Swift.
I was shocked she didn't have a jersey on, though. She had a Chiefs windbreaker on, but she didn't have an 87 jersey on. I was a little, maybe she's in, but she ain't all the way in. But she was in the suite with his mom.
They're BFFs, man. This is the most insane thing ever. Because
you know who's loving it is the NFL, right?
Oh, the NFL is absolutely in love with this. Speaking of the NFL and musicians, USHERRAYN Tell me what you're going to do with me. I'm going to put you at halftime of the Super Bowl.
There we go.
Usher Raymond will be the halftime Super Bowl.
How about that?
And you said 10 years ago this makes a great decision, and someone else said 20 years ago, and both of you are right. But
15.
Either way,
I'm just not sure.
It's exactly what the NFL wants, because the target audience are millennial women. Millennial women are the target audience. And
well, it's funny because At some point over the weekend, I saw something somewhere about Pink should do the Super Bowl show, which I thought would be a pretty good call. But it's the same.
Yeah, same genre, same era, same time frame.
Yeah,
that's who they're after. They're after the millennial women, and every millennial woman was dancing to Usher in the club 15 years ago. So if you want to get them,
they may not want their families to know, but
there's a song by maybe Clay Walker. It's called Mama, Before She Was Mama. And yes, that would fit perfectly here. So
I've not heard the song, but I get the idea.
You know exactly what it is. And it's exactly that. So I don't know. The NFL is making some interesting decisions. And of course, Taylor Swift is certainly helping out.
Apparently, Bill Belichick said that's Travis Kelce's biggest catch ever.
And Belichick is not wrong. Yeah, that's a solid catch. Literally everyone, you know who's the least happy about it? Brittany Mahomes. That's like, are you kidding me right now? There's only room here for one of us.
Yeah.
So,
well, Brittany's going to go then because Taylor ain't going nowhere.
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
Oh, man. Let's take a break. College football reactions right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow, Mo Patton. Mo.
Chris.
College football reactions. Number one, is Alabama good again, or is Ole Miss just Ole Miss?
Is Alabama good again, like 2 weeks ago good, or
like good?
I don't think Ole Miss is Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss may have a little bit of a mental block about Alabama. But Chris Vanini from The Athletic maybe put this forth over the weekend. I don't know if anybody's good.
It's true. Jacksonville State is, but other than that. No,
because they beat Eastern Michigan.
Listen, man, I don't want to talk about it. Look,
you brought it up.
No, I know. Is anybody good? Yes, there are some good teams out there. I think there are three.
Because
I think Washington is good. I think USC is good. I think Ohio State and Notre Dame are both good. I watched that Ohio State Notre Dame game. I was impressed with both teams.
I watched, and I'm a little bit ashamed to admit it. I watched Penn State and Iowa just to see how bad Iowa is.
Did you have to wash your eyes out with soap when you were done?
Peroxide.
Jeez.
Yeah. 4 first downs.
96 yards-ish.
Still more than Tennessee.
Still more than Titans.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know how good Penn State is because they beat Iowa.
I think Oregon's good. I think a lot of teams out west are good. I think Texas is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think
I'm coming around to the idea that maybe Texas is good.
Here's who I don't think is good, at least to the level that they need to be.
Georgia?
I don't think Florida State, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama.
Well, certainly not Clemson.
Tennessee's not as good as they were last year.
Well, we knew Tennessee wasn't going to be as good as they were last year because Hendon Hooker.
Dude, I picked him with a national championship.
Yeah, well.
So you must mean you have a mouse in your pocket. I don't know, unless you're talking about JK. Because, but yeah, I mean, it is I don't think Michigan's as good as they were last year. Nobody in the Big 12 outside of Texas is. Oklahoma beat Cincinnati by 14 points. That wasn't a great win.
Oh, at Cincinnati.
It might have been, and glad Cincinnati covered because I picked them to cover. But I don't know that just makes. I don't know that makes.
No, it doesn't give you any confidence.
No. So I don't know. It's a great question. I really feel like that this season is the most parity we've ever seen.
As we just talked about in the NFL.
It's just a weird year.
It's been a weird 3 or 4 weeks for sure.
Yeah, no question. Now,
and I don't know that it's going to get any less weird.
We'll see. I think you're probably right. I mean, there is plenty of opportunity for the weirdness to continue and to only get weirder.
Mm-hmm. I want to get to this next question.
Well, Oregon, as we talked about, proved they're legit. What did we learn about Colorado?
I don't think we learned anything about Colorado that we didn't already know.
Which is?
They have improved the talent level of their roster from being 1-11 last year.
And they're not good enough in the trenches to be a top program.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah, sure. I think that's anybody that wasn't caught up in the hype of what's going on in Boulder knew that.
Here, I'm going to throw this.
A lot of people were caught up in the hype. I'm not sure. And we said it when they were 2-0. We don't know who they've beaten. I don't know that Colorado deserved to be in the top 6. And it's almost like folks set Colorado up.
They did. A lot of folks set Colorado up. But let me just throw this out there. And please understand, this is not me being a knucklehead about it. Colorado struggled last week against Colorado State with game day in town, right? But they won, as they should. Clearly the biggest game. Now, I know Travis Hunter's out. Huge deal. Don't think it makes 49 points difference.
No.
But
36. But
well, yeah, that's right. They did score late, didn't they? Yeah. Biggest game to this point. Deion Sanders was 0-2 in Celebration Bowls. Can Deion win the big game? Seriously, look, I'm not. It's kind of being funny, but also like
he is 0-2 in Celebration Bowls, as they would say in the barbershop.
And one of them was against a team that was 500. They lost to South Carolina State 2 years ago, and South Carolina State was 6-5 coming into the game.
But the Pew ain't no joke.
I'm just saying, Jackson State was undefeated, and South Carolina State
was not.
was
not undefeated. Yeah.
Won. So I'm just saying that there may be a correlation here. That's all I'm saying. But yes, that's exactly what we learned. The two things are not mutually exclusive. Colorado can be good and not be
great,
as good as people think they were or thought they were.
I don't know. Again,
but I do think you're right. I think some people set Colorado
up. I think Colorado was set up a little bit. I think Colorado is what, 2-1 now? 3-1?
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
I honestly feel like coming off of 1-11, anything Colorado does the rest of the year is gravy.
I wouldn't disagree.
And here's the thing.
Now, here's the thing. I not do anything the rest of the year.
I think Rick George feels that way as well.
And the people who matter feel that way.
So, but, as he and Ed Orgeron said, we coming.
And I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they are.
But they weren't ready for Oregon. They're not ready for USC next week.
Nope.
With or
especially
without
at 10
Travis
o'clock
Hunter.
in the morning. Maybe that makes a difference. Maybe 10 o'clock in the morning is not great for USC.
Maybe they catch USC before they wake up.
Catch them sleeping. I thought you were going to go there. I was just waiting for it. Oh, man. In the ACC, though, is Florida State bad? Is Clemson maybe not as bad? Is, as our friend Matt Brown said, Duke the best team in the country?
The Fighting Cutcliffe, even though he's 2 years removed? Yes. That would really create a different dynamic if Duke is, in fact, the best team in the ACC.
Well, college game day is coming to town, baby. They're coming to their city.
That's awesome. I think that's fantastic.
Which knocks one of the places they've never been off the list.
Well, I thought it was fantastic when College Game Day came to Nashville in 2008 for Vanderbilt Auburn, when Vanderbilt went into that game 4-0. I think it's always great when game day goes somewhere that they've never been before, because it's a tribute to what that team has done.
Did you see the crowd at Alabama for the Alabama-Texas game? It was trash because they don't care anymore.
Yeah, because they don't. It's no big deal.
Duke's going to show up
and show out.
They are going to show up. So yeah, and so I'm kind of a Duke believer right now.
I don't think Florida State's bad though. I think Clemson.
Well, they didn't play. They barely beat Boston College. Barely beat Boston College.
I think this might be a team that is growing into being good.
Okay. Jordan Travis makes up for a lot of deficiencies. He really does. And the problem with Clemson is that, Clemson they are finding an identity still. And perhaps they find it this year, probably not. But I think they're better than we thought they were after week 1.
Well, thank goodness.
I think they're going to make a bowl. It may be the Music City Bowl, but I think they're going to make one. So,
Florida State is what, 4-0?
Yes.
Okay, they're off this weekend, and then they play Virginia Tech. That's going to help.
Well, you'd have thought that about Boston College too. Alas.
Then they play Syracuse.
We'll see.
Then they got Duke. So,
and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Main Street Sports Today, y'all. Come back at 2:00.